In this video, we're going to discuss how Godzilla seems to be overwhelmed in the new Monsterverse film, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. Could Godzilla explode? Has he reached his most powerful form? Come with me as we clarify everything in this video. Let's go. Welcome back to Nerds Insights, your daily nerd news channel. We saw in the trailer for Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire that Godzilla will have at least 3 stages. His default form, which we saw in 2014, a form similar to his burning form but blue, which we saw in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and his new form, totally new to the Monsterverse, the evolved Godzilla or Pink Godzilla. However, analyzing and watching all the trailers, all the TV spots, all the images being released and leaked, it seems that Godzilla is overwhelmed. It seems that he has absorbed so much energy that he can no longer bear it. Hey guys, we saw Godzilla swallow a nuclear bomb in the face in the Monarch Legacy of Monsters series and feed on that radiation. So what could happen for Godzilla to become overwhelmed to the point of almost exploding? Well, I think I have an answer to that, and we're going to discuss that theory here. But first, leave your like just to help promote this video, because when you leave your like, YouTube understands that this content is good and relevant and shares it with more people who are fans of the Monsterverse. So I'm going to divide it into 2 parts, between Godzilla Burning and Godzilla Pink, okay? Let's go. Starting with Godzilla Burning Blue. We know I'm going to call it that because it looks a lot like its burning form, but we're still not absolutely sure it's the same form, because for Godzilla to reach this level, this power, this revolution, he needs to go through some stages. There's a process behind it. He needs to receive the full blast of an immense nuclear bomb at point-blank range and absorb all that radiation, and he still needs a little help from Mothra to control it, because, without her, he just becomes a nuclear bomb that will destroy everything wherever he goes until he reaches the point of exploding. And we already know, it's more than confirmed, that Mothra is in this film, so there's a chance it's the same process. Godzilla, by answering the Scar King's call to war, may start seeking to become stronger, and humanity might help Godzilla in this part, hitting him with another bomb for him to absorb. However, he wouldn't be able to fully absorb this power, so he would seek kind of a ritual in the ice to transform this power into an evolution. Remember that I've already explained here on the channel what the difference between evolution and transformation is, okay? Godzilla Burning is a transformation, Godzilla Pink is an evolution. However, this theory of mine still has some holes, because we saw fighter jets attacking Godzilla, so it's still a bit confusing how the timeline of the movie will occur, according to the events shown to us in the trailer, but that's my guess of what will happen for him to reach this form. It could also be that Godzilla is evolving so much that he naturally reaches this burning Godzilla form in blue, and then he will seek a way to control it. I don't know if you've watched Dragon Ball, but it's like when Goku and Gohan stay transformed into Super Saiyan 24 hours a day so their bodies can get used to it. That's more or less what Godzilla is doing. He would get used to this power until he reaches his pink form. Godzilla Evolved or Godzilla Pink. I'm going to show you a chart now that shows the most powerful gamma colors, from the strongest to the weakest. We can see there the green, which is from the Hulk. We can see the red, and we can see the pink. Pink is the strongest gamma color there is, so Godzilla Pink would be the peak. The explosion of radiation in his body would be him completely mastering that radiation. However, I still have my suspicions that when Godzilla becomes this way, he becomes very, how can I say, furious, uncontrolled, aggressive. I have the impression that Godzilla Pink is quite aggressive, so it could be as if it were really the idea of this video. Godzilla is not able to control his strongest form of radiation, and because of that, he begins to lose his senses. He becomes quite aggressive, but that's just my idea. If I were to make a final conclusion, I would say that yes, Godzilla is overloaded, and because he is overloaded, he sought a way to get used to this power, and then he reached his pink form. However, his pink form is still very strong, very new to him, and he starts to become very aggressive, wanting to fight everyone, so it would still take some time for him to return to being the Godzilla we know. There is a chance, as I've mentioned in other videos, that he will remain pink forever, but I really think he will return to his default form after all these events. Hey there, comment for me. Do you think Godzilla seems overwhelmed, and is that dangerous for him? Or is he okay, relaxed? Comment below because I want to know your opinion, and of course, subscribe to the channel. I'm saying in all the videos, there's a lot of good content, a lot of theories, a lot of information, a lot of things being released about Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, and I'm sure you'll love what I'll bring here on the channel. See you later, alligator.